is Janet, and this practice has just really opened up a new way of being for me. I've meditated for more than 10 years in a number of retreats, but attending this retreat, I don't know, I opened the booklet and on the very first page there was a saying, and it said, "It's in dying to self that we are born into eternal life." And there were aspects of that that I had touched, but what did it really mean? And part of it is shedding the light on this egoic and fragmented way of being, thinking. Ajay explains it as it's a conditioned way of being. I can almost think of it as being sort of leaning forward out of balance, and leaning so far forward into, if I had this certain thing, if I had this certain perfect job, if my house was this way, my life, kind of building everything on a conditioned existence. But then I would know peace, joy, love. And sometimes it's a falling backwards into despair, this egoic, fragmented sort of way of thinking. If my child didn't have a disease, if I had made a different choice at that crossroad, and there's a despair in that. It says, there's something that's broken. I can't be happy. It's not attainable. Sometimes this is just a way of being that's supported by our culture. And it's so exhausting. It's a constant leaning forward and being pushed back. And I've been on retreats where I was able to glimpse that and start to shed some light on the truth of that. There are other possibilities, that there's such a thing as unconditioned joy, love, peace. But then you get back home and pretty soon just the sheer speed of our lives, the culture which is always thrown to us that it needs to be other than the way it is. We really need to have this and that in order to be happy. And I didn't really have the tools to be able to sustain that mindfulness, that present moment. Because really this egoic and fragmented way that we think, you can't survive in the present moment. It's almost always leaning forward into or being pushed back out of. And it was really in this retreat that I learned some concrete practices that allowed me to really be able to be present, to really start breaking through some of that habitual mind pattern that just been present and been strengthened over and over and over. So some of that is the use of the mantras. I'm breathing in joy, breathing in love, and then suddenly there it is again. It's the egoic mind. It's that leaning into future, of needing, wanting, if it was only this way. And before I would just get stuck in that. I would just get stuck in that wheel. I couldn't really see a way out. And in this practice of stopping, asking myself questions. Is this real? would really attain that bring me unconditional, forever joy. And just in that scene, just in that very stopping and scene, in that very moment, it cuts through it. It shines the light on it so that it can never be as powerful. And does it need to be a practice that's only on the cushion? No. I think that's what's been so helpful. Driving in the car, I find my mind, oh, there it is, it's spinning off into the future again. And I just start coming back to the present moment, using a lot of the techniques from the Zen meditation retreat, asking myself questions just gently. Is this real? Is this true? Because for me it's been not only the suffering that I feel of something, but then the layering of the egoic mind. It just takes that suffering and just makes it feel so huge to where your true self, to where joy and happiness begins to feel unattainable. It's just with such joy that I can sit here with such gratefulness in my heart to really have the tools available to me in such a useful and concrete way to bring my life into balance, to know that suffering does exist, but to know that ultimately unconditional way of being